Hi, you're so many. Martin said, I thought it was 30 people. No, I think it's like 150. So, we should swap the computer. So, my name is Karin Gustavsson. I work with IKEA since almost 30 years. I leave sometimes, but I always return. I've also been working like in Italy and China for a while. I've been in Orrefors's Crystal Factory, but I went back to IKEA. Better. I took a picture of me working in IKEA. I'll take a stool as well. And today with me I also have Martin Bergstrom, who I think most of you are familiar with, designer and artist in Stockholm, mainly fashion, but also all disciplines, arts and crafts and designs. Yes. He will talk more later. We have a collaboration I will present in the end of the speech. As I said, I work in Älmhult. I work in one of the IKEA divisions called IKEA of Sweden, who is the design head office of IKEA. And I'm also range manager, but sometimes I work as creative leader. So I'm range manager for one of our divisions, which is a business area. We have 14 of them. And in my business area, we are developing all vitality collections, like the collaborations I will present, like with Virgil Abloh and Martin and etc. I also work with social entrepreneurship, a lot in rural areas in India and Thailand and Indonesia, Romania, etc. We work with all market-specific range, like for when we, for example, go into Japan, they say, okay, we don't need a cheese grater, can you do something else for us? We need new frying pans and so then we do all market-specific needs for them. And then we work with loads of new businesses. Like my department used to be a little bit like Ingvar Kamprad's playground. So for example, we have started up a pets collection now for dogs and cats and so we're trying out new concepts. So it's quite fun divisions to work in. And if for IKEA, everyone asks me, how is IKEA working? Why can't we have the web? Why don't we have the same platform? Why cannot I order everything online today? But IKEA today is a large number of companies, and we work under one foundation and one brand. But each country sometimes is different franchisees, and we also have external franchisees. We're opening South America now, for example, with Brazil and Peru and Chile. We'll see what happens there. But we have in my division, we have the responsibility to develop, design, and produce and supply all the IKEA stores global around the world. No one else can do that. Our range is almost 10,000 products today. But in my department, I have 10,000 extra, so that's why I have a lot. And we do in IKEA maybe 2,000 new articles every year. And it's not like fashion, it takes a long time to make a chair or a vase or to secure for children's safety and quality and all sustainability things. But then we started recently to make these fashion collaborations, and since it's Fashion Week, I wanted to focus on these ones today. And we are doing this because we are curious and we want to learn and share, and it's not to be working with these hyper designers really. It's more for us to collaborate. You know, we said no to Kanye West, for example. We didn't thought it was correct for us. He was a little bit too wild. He wanted to work with us a lot, and we thought it was quite funny. But then we have this upcoming collaboration with Virgil Abloh, which I will tell you more about, which is different. But our means is always to make design affordable, and we have like, we call it democratic design. So it's form, function, price, sustainability, and quality. So it cannot just be a nice product. It's a lot about safety and all quality parameters. And we like to believe that it's smart thinking and togetherness that creates the movements. It's more like the idea we work on together with the artist. And that's why we collaborate. And why would they like to collaborate with us then? And we ask them often, so why do you want to do this? Because it's not really about money. We never pay royalties or big fees. It's more like hourly fee, and we accept and we work together. But we are opening up a big platform for them. And it's also, since we're global, it's very interesting. It's also a possibility for them to reach a new audience and a new target group. And we also would like to have much more younger and new customers. And I think the lines today between architecture and design and fashion and arts is very small, and everyone wants to be all over, so it's interesting for us. You know, you saw all these IKEA hacks that came up. All designers are taking inspiration from IKEA, and we think it's so funny that everyone interacts with IKEA items, and they're used by billions of people. And this is the 99-cent bag, which people are hacking now. I think design of this level is mean that you design in an understated way. It's minimalistic, even if you're trying to be. It all started with a Balenciaga bag, which you know was for $2,000 sort of, and we had our 99-cent IKEA bag. And from there it started, and it just boomed up with all the things. Now we are hacking the bag ourselves a little bit, but we try very hard to protect also the logotype and the wording and the interface, because it's big when we are so many IKEA to start doing something else. Here's more dresses from the girls from Subway here. It's super fun. Last year, maybe some of you were here. I know Bea Åkerlund was here to have a morning speech as well. And I created a collection together with Bea. I was actually listening to her summer speech one morning when I was driving the car, since I live in Småland. So who should we work with? Well, Bea is cool. She's Swedish, and she has managed to find a livelihood in Los Angeles. So I called her and I said, like, shouldn't we make a collaboration? And we did. It was very much targeting young girls, very crazy, very much un-IKEA, very Hollywood and glamour. And she called herself a fashion activist, and it was super fun to work with her because, so like, for example, to get her to understand that everything has to be flat pack. It's not so easy. Like, no, we cannot do this paper basket gold because it doesn't stack and it's not flat, and I cannot make it collapsible. So we had a lot of discussions here. And the collection took approximately 2.5 hours to make. So this is how long, this is a fast collection, 2.5 year. Sorry, it's early for me too. 2.5 hours, maybe ideas the pace. And it was launched last year globally and sold out very quickly. You can find pieces in some stores. Like some countries, like for example, you can find a full collection in Poland for some collection. They're not interested. Or you can find leftovers in US for something, because it's very market specific. And sometimes we know that from Sparta, we did 2 years ago. In some countries like Eastern Europe, we did a black collection. They were like, we don't need more gray or black, it's fine. So, okay, I will tell you about Virgil. He's a super nice guy, and we can follow me everywhere. I don't know how he managed. He DJs every night and travels all over. But he's happy to work with us, and he will launch the first collection in 2020 with us. And he says it's a home must-have that don't force you to compromise of who you are. It's somewhere to sit, sleep, work, and store stuff, but function is just part of the greatness. More than anything, he likes these pieces to be statement pieces. But it's challenging also to work in this collaboration with Virgil, of course. And Virgil, everyone knows, he's a founder of the off-brand, now Louis Vuitton, head of design menswear. But he's also have an architecture graduation. He's a DJ, he's the producer, and then the artistic director of Louis Vuitton. And when we revealed the collection with IKEA, he told us he loves to work with the best in his class of any genre, and it sounds nice. So he sees us also like a big platform to work with, because you ask him, why do you want to work with us? Because you can actually choose whomever. But he thinks also we can create something together for the many people and targeting young customers for less money. And he talks a lot about his dorm and how he had it in his room and what gadgets he's like. And he's, for example, making these chairs, and he just don't want to make an ordinary chair, but he's very Scandinavian, so we are a little bit, are you sure? Yeah. He loves this Scandinavian blonde design, but then he adds a doorstop to the feet, and he thinks that is the key. And he says that it makes an ordinary chair something unexpected, an interruption. And you can use it as a doorstop. And this chair is just one of the, I think, the furniture classic that takes this to another level. I think the same goes for the collection as whole, whether it's a daybed, a table, a rug, as you see in behind. He has done it more like his tagline, or any other piece. So he's working with putting a room together for someone in the early 20s or something, more like living, going to school or have his first apartment or something. So we'll see what will happen here. He's also working, he does do a glass cabinet, you can see on the picture here, it's transparent on all sides, and it's a modern version of like a Bundekammer, which you used to have in the Baroque ages, where you can see and collect all your collectibles. Collection is called markerad, which means in Swedish marked. What do you say, marked? Markerad? It's a lot about collecting stuff and storage. Put your icons, everything you love, on display to show who you are. So. I think Virgil has a fantastic ability to work with essential functions and basic materials. And he always creates something new of what we haven't seen or touched. And I think each object is both a design item and a piece of high artistic value. And as I said, it's November 2019. It's not 20, it's 19 already. I call it like physically at 20, but it's November 19. Then when we work with him, that's enough with Virgil for now. You can put questions later. We also started to work with Olafur Eliasson on Iceland, who has this company Little Sun, which tried to distribute lamps in poor areas for solar cell charging. So everyone can have charging their phones and have some electricity. And then also Virgil and Olafur started to work together. So now they had a collaboration and they made posters together. So it's also we're bringing the designers together. And this is also a quite nice collaboration. I saw that now that on the web, IKEA is not involved in this one. We are going to do a lamp project, but they also do posters now, which is available, limited editions on the web. And all the money goes to charity. And then we have Adidas. And that is so funny, because they approached us and we were a little bit like, how should we handle this, because it's so big. And we also, in the same time, I also work with Nike in Jordan to take care of waste in my other project as social entrepreneur, because they have big waste from doing fashion clothing. So we're trying to do cushion fillers there. A lot with people from refugees. But Adidas and us have found a playground to stand on, and we say we are curious to understand what people want and need when it comes to exercising, sleeping and eating at home. Because we see we don't often have so much time to go to the gym or go somewhere else, and we need to create a more active home in the future. And we don't have the sofa and the armchairs and the bookcase anymore. It's like we're doing something else at home. So we will collaborate with Adidas to explore the connections between living spaces and sport, and how both can adapt to help creativity, healthy habits at home. I think I can see a lot for working, and also that the bed can turn into something else, or endless possibilities. And research shows that home is where we want to create lifelong habits. And IKEA want to explore how home can better enable active lifestyles, working in collaboration with Adidas, the creator sports brand. See, I'm reading a little bit, but and we will bring the designers together from both the company to have workshops and elaborate what we can do. Exchange insights and knowledge and ideas to imagine ways of working from the home easier. And it's like I said, by working with them, we will also like to go into the wellness bubble and see how it means to different people. We think we can create better homes by doing this. This collection with Adidas will not be until 2020, I think, so it takes a long time. We'll see, maybe pieces as well, so we can launch during the wave. Then you probably heard that we are working in a small project with Byredo, because being healthy, we also want to smell good and have a nice atmosphere at home. And we thought IKEA needs a smell as well. So, and we also have a lot of scented candles and so, but they're quite like, so we take the next level now, doing it properly. So by introducing Ben Gorham to IKEA, he has developed a lot of new sentences, and we're looking into how to apply them in our products right now. But we think it's a relevant part of the home. Could also be comfort and security. It's something like makes it very homey. And you know, Ben also has a art school background, so it's also interesting. He brings up different values of how he wants to work. And this collection will be launched during 2020 as well, so it's also a little bit postponed, so I don't have any products ready here yet. And when we work, I'm not creative leader for all the collection. We're different creative leaders, so there's so many projects. And we're full team, so it's not like one person in IKEA sets all, but it's all together. So we're very Swedish, very big teams moving around. From a technical part can take over fully in a project. So then I think super nice. We are going to work with Solange Knowles and Saint Hero Collective. And they think also it's super funny, so all she launched on her website and Instagram and so. But it's a collective that IKEA will explore architectural and design objects with multifunctional use, because we think contemporary art is a huge part of people's life today. And of course in IKEA we are curious about people and arts and crafts. Music will come into the picture most likely and be influenced here. And it's like Solange say, just tune in and stay on, we'll see what happens. So we'll see. But this is what we like to explore with them, and this is the startup phase as well. They have a huge platform with cool people and young people, and we think we are reaching out to a totally different target. And I hope by launching these last collections I've been presenting that we will be fully also on board on the digital platform, because today we also have launched a lot of store concepts, and we will open up in the city stores, we will have pickup points and change our own supply chains as well. So this is also part of how we will supply and how we will have a look in the future with IKEA. We're saying we are in a new era that we just started. And then I'm so happy to present Martin, who I've been working with here in Stockholm and everywhere, India. And
this is Benny, I'm sorry.
Yes, Benny, we haven't introduced him.
He's with me all the time.
Last time I saw Benny, he was super small. Now he's a young man already. Oh, he's a little bit shy today.
He's tired,
but
early.
You could present yourself, maybe with some words what you
But I'm working with sort of in the, so in between everything. It's like fashion, interior, art, for me it's the same, but I work with so many different materials, and I'm very happy to work with you in Svärtan that we released 2015, 16. And now we're working on the next project here with Annanstans.
It's often so when you start working with design, you find something and then something it just clicks, and then you continue to work on new projects because you find them out during the way. And I would like to present this collection called Annanstans we have been working with. Annanstans means somewhere else, and it's a good name because this collection is from the social entrepreneurship collections, because I get stuck when I work in these countries and I need to make designs from social entrepreneurship that we would like to buy in city stores or in more mature areas. There's so much handcraft to buy, so I had to raise the design value here. So Martin went in, and we have made handcrafted objects for a warm, to bring one-of-kind warmth to a modern home, and in the same time create jobs for all the artisans in rural areas, and it's mainly women. Who do embroidery, but also ceramics and weaving and natural fiber weaving. We have been this time a lot in India, but we also developed all the ceramic in Thailand. We have done some weird project, you will tell them later, in Romania. And I think each piece celebrates how traditional techniques can be contemporary in the style. So we tried very much to change the perception of art here. And I think you're on a social mission with IKEA changing us.
Yeah, but I think it's also really good to mention that now for this social entrepreneurship there is 20,000 people that are really getting jobs out of this, and that we want to sell. I mean, before you've done, I think you've been working with this type of project for 7 years or something, and this is sort of the first time that bring a designer to sort of push the limits and what they can do, and of course it's been a lot of limitation in what we can do.
And it's not IKEA's company, so we are just supporting them to set up small business, and we do them like microloans, and we're teaching them how to do packaging and the supply, so that we want them also to get other customers, so they're not reliant on us. So it's a tricky business. You started to work with the textiles that are printed with bright and vivid colors. And then you have added embroidery, for example, on the textiles. We started there. We can show you some here. Here you can see all the prints we were working with.
Yeah. So the whole collection is, I started by, Karin asked me if I would like to do something.
Some questions and things here.
Of course, we thought a little bit what we should do and what I was after, and then I found this book that was like this atlas over remote islands, and I was really into this silence, because I think people screaming too much is too much. Name dropping. It's all these things in fashion and everything, and I was really into this, to make something beautiful and silent and poetic, and I started to paint. That's always where I start when I work, and then I did maybe, hundreds of drawings and paintings and everything, collages, and then I put them together, and we started with the textiles, and then we have, I think we made 30 prints or something that we combined in different ways, and then used like embroidery on top of it to create layers of...
But it was a fun process, because normally these girls and women, they're embroidering, the traditional, very like applique and embroidery. And you all almost looked like the backside better. And they were a little bit shocked.
Yeah, of course. And they were laughing. It's so funny with the artisans that they thought it was so weird, all this. But of course it was... Yeah.
So Martin is with all the girls, so it's funny. This is part of the collection. I don't have so many pictures yet, since it's under progress. But I wanted to ask why mushrooms? Because these are the mushrooms from Romania. And it's actually, I can see mushrooms a bit everywhere now.
But I love mushrooms, I've always done. But then, of course, it was, we have Thailand, Daitung, we have India, Pakistan, we have... and then I was really into this, when you have this certain mission that, I mean, I think Romania is, I mean, when I heard that you have factories in Romania, I was like, okay, we have to do something there. And then I heard, okay, you do wood, what can we do? You can't make something that you can have like food approved or what you call it. So it has to be something decorative. And then, okay, the wood is like this size, what can we do? And then I was like, okay, we have to do a mushroom then. And then I really thought, I mean, I think the mushroom, I think the shape is, I mean, that's been the struggle in this project that, I mean, it's, if I would have done it in another factory, another way, I would have, I mean, it would have looked different, but now it's the. I mean,
and we're getting new mushrooms every week.
But it's too many in Romania who's making all the IKEA mushrooms, and I think it's kind of amazing that you put like, okay, it's small, but it's two men there.
So like, now you know you have to buy the mushrooms.
Yeah,
they have
and
a
then
good
I mean
story.
it's really nice that I mean there's this. I mean, for example, like the baskets, there's like, I think it's 10 or something who's making them. I mean, it's really small, but with the mushroom, I mean, of course, I mean, mushrooms they are amazing, and I think. There's both this,
ceramic. You have to tell us about the ceramic.
Yeah.
There are 3 pieces. And now it's a base and a
yeah.
bowl
So there's this
and
little and really organic shape, so you can use it. I mean, I think there's actually. I mean, you can eat. You can have it as a plate, but you can also have it as a decorative object.
And they're also almost handmade. They have a mold, but all the.
But everything is
variation.
like, of course. Yeah. And I think it was it 3,000 pieces, in the whole world. So it's really like limited, It's just a little alien egg,
This is you when you weren't working in India.
And that's the professor from what art school was he? Like when he was also one of the founders of one of the centers where all the women are working.
But how do you think it was difficult to work with all the artisans? Because you really have to work on the factory floor with the artisans.
I mean, I think the artisans, I mean, their knowledge is amazing, and it's been also amazing to work with their craftsmanship. I mean, all these women that are sitting in I mean, have these embroidery skills, and that's amazing. And of course, it's a struggle with the limitation of the sizes. For example, I mean, I would like the ceramics, for example, to be bigger, but then the ovens are 25 centimeters, so you can't really make them even bigger. No. And then you have to also make that. So of course, that's been.
We are working a lot to scale these industries up, to make them understand how to make bigger productions and so on, not to lose their craftsmanship. But then it's a lot about details in the embroidery as well. I know you were working a lot with all, like to get everything right in the detail, and it was not so easy as it looked like. To make it simple, it's also difficult.
But I think, hopefully it will be,
And this is March 2019, we'll launch this one.
And we have a kaftan also in the collection, and scarves and bags.
Big baskets and bags. A little bit fashion in that one too. So we are curious, Martin.
Yeah.
And this is what I had to present this time. I didn't make it so long because I knew it was a morning speech.